Good morning, Tommy Grisafi, ATI ProMedia. I'm excited to be here. We have so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Let's start with this. American stock markets, all-time highs. Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P, ripping off faces to the short. So many people out there saying the world's ending. It didn't end yesterday, brothers and sisters. We're going to talk about some silly stuff. Voice from the tomb. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. We'll bring it up on the show later. Natural gas and crude oil are lower. It's marketing season, meeting season. Everyone's running around. I came down to the corporate office here in Bloomington. Half the office was gone. Good to see they're working. Congratulations, advanced trading employees. We are a firm who trades futures and options. We love to educate people. We have some of the best around. Real quick note, my partner, Kurt Struber, he did a meeting, and that link is on the Liquid Grow website. Nice little Q&A, all different things going on. I'm also watching people who their services are only, we tell you when to sell cash. Guess what? You didn't sell any cash, or you sold 5% or 10%. We're going to keep talking about that. Starting in the next few weeks, obviously, we'll have ATI Pro Media Premium, and every day, including Saturdays, we're going to put out an educational video. Connor B, bring them in. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. They got good coffee here. It's a good place to work. We got to have a good attitude. You know why? I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Yeah.
I was talking to Nathan Mangold yesterday after work, and he went out to Kansas and Iowa and some other places. He was giving speeches. And then he told me that when he was driving home, he felt bad for how negative he was. And although the fundamentals right now and things that are going on are that negative, he forgot to tell the crowd that 3 to 5 years from now, American agriculture is going to be the bomb if 1/4 of this stuff that they're talking about out there kicks in, whether it be getting paid to have a carbon credit, or whether it is biodiesel, biofuel, this alternative. Maybe electric's not the big thing. Maybe that we take vegetable oil and burn that through vehicles. I don't know, but American agriculture is not going away, but we are having a little bad time. So Nate Mangold said it was okay to uh, talk about that. And that is very important. And that's why I'm going to be loud and obnoxious today, because I am bullish American ag, but not on March expirations day and not on first notice day. Back to you, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, I love Tommy. When you're fired up, I'm fired up. Let's get her going. You know what's not fired up? It's March expirations and this March corn.
True
We are
story.
sitting 402. Tommy, are we going to see? Is March corn going to go off the board with a 3 in front of it? Sure feels that way right now.
Well, the cash market, I think we hit some 330
Oh,
cash corn in western
oh,
North Dakota.
oh my
And I guess the question I'd
gosh.
like to throw out to everyone in the back of the room, if y'all got these fancy spreadsheets, are your spreadsheets like my treadmill? It's just sitting there not getting used, because everyone went out, bought a spreadsheet, knew their cost of production. You know those folks. You got to know your cost of production. Your cost of production is your weight. And that's all it is. It's just a gauge. And it's also, your cost of production is from the rear view mirror, because people who knew their cost of production in 23, who didn't sell, are now selling those bushels. They didn't want to sell 5.50 or $6 corn because they didn't like it, was closer to cost of production. So they say, hell with it. We'll sell it $2 lower on first notice day. That's what's happening. And if you think I'm being a jerk, I'm just telling the truth. We're going to give facts, and we're going to deal with other people's feelings later.
That's absolutely true. When we look, we've talked a lot about the different tech companies that have really jumped in ag sector in a big way, kind of fizzled out, right? You know the
Hmm.
names, and all those are about how can we get it to a pencil the farmer's break even, right? It's February 23rd, and we can know to the penny what your break even is going to be. Only issue is we don't know what we're going to produce until it's all in the bin or it's all delivered to the elevator. So any break even we're doing, in my opinion, it's a moving target. It's a soft target, right? If we're doing a break even on 190 bushel corn in Christian County, where your 5-year average is 225, might not be that accurate. So got to keep those things in mind.
Can I
Moving
tell
on. Yeah,
you?
go. No. Let's
Well, a client called me early this morning, and he said he figured out his break even. He was like 425 cash corn based on big bushels, and it clicked. What if the country had big bushels, but he didn't? Had a regional problem, too
yeah.
much water, not enough water. Holy cow! Could a balance sheet get beat up if America has a big crop, carryouts grow, but regionally you have a problem? We are far enough into February that today is a great day to call the crop insurance agent. This is really serious stuff. Get that beefed up. But then you still have that gap. If you have a record crop, from that record crop where we have crop insurance, you won't get crop insurance. So if America produces huge bushels and we tank the price, I don't think there's going to be a lot there. I think they're going to outproduce themselves out of crop insurance. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We saw it this year. You know, we had what the Fed price was 591. December average was what, Tommy? Mid 460, 470s. I can't remember the December average, but we saw a major price drop. But generally speaking, most of the country didn't see any big crop insurance prices. In my area, right, if you did the 85% coverage, you got a little payment based on the price alone, and our yields were good, not great. But generally speaking, buying up to that 85%, I did the math. You're basically breaking even if you did the 80% and didn't get a payment, is how I was looking at it. So, absolutely, you can outgrow your crop insurance coverage. We're getting better and better at doing that.
Well, let's take a little commercial break and talk about what we're going to be up to the next few days and weeks. Of course, if you're out there in the interweb, you're on YouTube or one of these other places, you can ask us a question. If we have time, we'll get to it. I already see a few questions coming in.
Yeah.
Number two, I will be speaking at Commodity Classic next week. A big group of us at Advanced Trading will be going down there. Brother Joe, pop up that booth number. And if you're going to Commodity Classic, hit us up at booth 4202, secret password number 23. Whisper that in my ear. We have a really nice gift for people. So don't kiss me, just whisper it in my ear. And number three, but wait, there's more. Yesterday, we did little premium content, and we had Jesse Allen. Jesse Allen, you all know him from Market Talk and AOA. And Jesse gave a great perspective, basis contracts, E15. This guy talks to as many people out in ag land as anyone. If you want a copy of that premium content, call my line, 1-855-737-FARM. Tommy Grisafi, Joe Grisafi, Gina Grisafi. We will answer. And that is our break, our commercial break. Back to the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Jesse Allen, great guy. I feel like I could listen to that guy's voice all day. He's got that voice for radio. It's smooth, so good stuff. I really liked your guys' video yesterday. So anything, we're gonna get some negative news out of the way, and then let's talk some of that. And so I had a customer tell me yesterday, Tommy said, ever since you guys started ATI ProMedia and doing this podcast, you haven't had a whole lot of good news, right? The markets did nothing but go down. So Dan, we're gonna work on that. We're going to keep doing ATI ProMedia, but we'll see if we can get you some positive news. But the negative news, soybean export sales yesterday hit a market year low. We were down 84% from the previous week. So not unexpected given the time frame, right? As we see, we've pulled those charts up a lot, Tommy, where we're the market, especially for China, October, November, December, when Brazil and South America comes online, our export sales really take a dip. So not unexpected, but still tough to see 84% down from previous week.
That's interesting because, as the grains are struggling, I'm looking over at cattle and live cattle back up, feeder cattle ramping up, lean hogs getting going. We earlier in the week we had a slide, we didn't post it, but cocoa was going crazy. I really don't want to be a cocoa trader or hedger, but stock market's moving. We have a question that pertains to land prices and stuff.
Let's pull it up.
Yeah, let's pull it up real quick, Joe, because it ties into what we're talking about. Think Farmer Brett. Are you guys seeing farmland prices come down recently? If so, how much? Great question.
Yep.
I'm friends with different auctioneers, different farmland guys in Illinois and Iowa. I like those two in particular. I have to say, I was thinking that farmland prices could come down 20%, but I'm going to change that. Not that it matters, because it's very hard to hedge farmland and everything else. But with the stock market exploding like it is, it's creating more wealth. And as long as there's wealth, at some point, there's always going to be doctors, dentists, wealthy people, business owners who might want to take out money out of the markets and put it. I look at land as like a 50, 100-year investment. It's not a 5-weeker. It's not a 5-minute trade. You don't scalp land. I mean, a few people do, but overall, the stock market at this level, sure, land could easily have a pullback, but I think there's so much money out there, Farmer Brett, that you get a 10, 15% pullback in land. And as long as they're smaller chunks, 40s, 80s, people will be there buying. What do you see in your neighborhood? Because I know you live in God's country.
Yeah. Shelby County, there's going to be a farm sale. I think in 2 weeks. It's a stone's throw from where my parents live. I'll make sure to give you an update on that. Good. I'm going to call it good, not great ground. Got some drainage issues, but it'd be interesting to see with that. I'm not seeing any big, I haven't heard any big drop in land prices yet. I think we're still a little ahead of the curve before we start seeing that. So, and one thing, Tommy, who
Mhm.
said buy land, it's not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, there's we are developing a lot of houses, and I don't think we're producing. I don't think in 10 years we're going to be planting 100 million acres of corn and 100 million acres of beans. I don't think that we have that within our country, which brings me to the subject that is scary as heck because South America and the rest of the world still has a lot of land that could be planted. If we could wrap up the Ukraine Russia war, clean up some of that ground, get it back going. The next 5, 10 years, that'll be full blown back in production. So there's a lot of things going on that are scary. We also have that the world population's going up, and with all this wealth created, people want to eat better. So there is a positive spin on agriculture. I will say this: tomorrow, I am going to go live. And I am going to talk about the 2-year anniversary of Ukraine war. I know it's a Saturday, but I like to work and I like to educate. And I hope y'all can join me for that because there's a lot of things that happened during that war that massively distorted. It is no shocker to us or advanced trading that when you shoot wheat up to 14, you could shoot it back down to 6 2 years later because you send a signal for everyone to plant and be great at agriculture. Real quick, remember that farmer I told you called this morning and said, "Hey, where are all the spreadsheet experts? I thought everyone had a spreadsheet. Why didn't they sell?" He
Mhm.
said the scariest words I've heard in a long time, that as he sells inputs, people are actually cutting back on inputs for corn because the price of corn's so low. And I don't think you're going to be able to cut back on inputs your way back to prosperity. So I think in this game, we have to win by bushels. And if you manage the bushels, if you pretend you're really great at farming in 2024, I think this is going to make a lot more sense, Connor.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And the answer was Mark Twain.
Oh, Mark Twain. Yes. Oh,
For
Mark.
sure.
Yeah.
So let's
Um,
do it. We got some questions piling in, Tommy. So let's
let's do
talk.
it. It's Friday.
Uh,
We can go long.
let's talk. Quick thing is you had voices from the tomb. You sent me this. I was unfamiliar, but it's basically a successful CBOT trader died and left instructions. What were those instructions that he left? And I
He
think
gave
voicefromthetomb.com if you guys want to look it up.
Yeah, he gave specific dates. Allegedly, this is all alleged, that there was a trader, he died inside his jacket were these dates. Yesterday was one of those dates, February 22nd by wheat. We at Advanced Trading are not giving trade hedge recommendations based off voice of the tomb, but there are seasonals, and you want to talk a little bit about that. I'll flip it back to you with these seasonals.
Absolutely. And we're getting in that seasonal time. Think, right? Every elevator processor offers that average seasonal price contract where they're going to price your grain roughly from middle of February to March out through second, third week in July, right? Because if
Mhm.
we look at the past 20 years, what is it? 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna put the high end for December corn in that time frame, right? The studies are there, the history is there. That's when we see that seasonality. The only thing I'll say about seasonalities is they work until they don't. And when they don't work, they really don't work. And also, it goes back into the weather market we talked about. What was that yesterday, Tommy? Where, we can see the seasonals, we know they're going to come. And in the rear view mirror, it was obvious, right? We should have been selling $6 corn in June in 2023. But we got to make sure we know how we're going to take advantage of them before they get there. That's my thing on seasonals.
Yeah, real quick. Let's give a shout out to Brady Huck. We have a very, very active cattle market, and Brady Huck and Tony Dunker are now have been for a while registered to sell LRP. We have a map of that. I want to show people the reach Advanced Trading has. When Connor's not famous being a movie star over here, and when I'm not wearing makeup, we actually help hedge risk both from a futures and option standpoint and a LRP. Look at this map, folks. If you're out there in the cattle uh, and hogs, give us a call. I think we can help you. We are now LRP registered in these states. Great job making that map. I heard it was a little hard to make that, and we have a little
It's awesome.
secret elf here who is really good at that. All right, we went long. One more question. Ashley had a question. Go ahead and pop that up, brother Joe. And I think someone called you the other day and said every podcast live stream needs a brother Joe. Okay, back to business. What commodities are you most optimistic to pull back, and why is it wheat? That's funny. So
Optimistic to pull back, so you're optimistic that it's going to go lower. Is that what she means?
I think she might be being funny, but in all seriousness, even if I was really, really, really bullish corn right now, which I may be, I wouldn't tell you on this show because I don't grow corn. And so if someone who owns a seat at the Board of Trade, wants to buy corn under your cost production, I'm not going to tell you I did that. Well, number one, it would make me seem like a toolbox just for bragging that I could buy it 50 cents a dollar cheaper and you could produce it. And two, I don't produce corn. So if you're long 23 and 24, you may not need as much upside as we need to keep helping you manage the risk of the downside. So I keep my opinions of where I think the markets can go. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But you, the American farmer, are inherently always long. You have a massive long position in 24. We at Advanced Trading know that. The secret's out, and that's probably a wrap to show. Any ways you want to wrap it up, and I'll close her out.
No, let's next week you and Brady are going to be at Commodity Classic.
Dave Fogel, yeah, a bunch of us.
Dave Fogel, right, bringing in the A team to Houston. So be good to see there. I think you guys will be going live from there, which will be a lot of fun. We'll see. Remember, March options expire today. We'll see what next week brings. We'll be doing this again next Monday. And with that, I think we'll wrap up the show.
See you, buddy.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.